Hello art students, this is Mrs. Brand here. Today I'm going to show you how to take your logo image and use Photoshop to create a PNG file that we can use for other activities in class. The first thing you need to do is take a photograph of the logo that you drew on your sketch paper using one of the class iPads. Then you need to upload it to your Google Drive. Once you've done that, you can use a laptop to access the file from your Google Drive and use Photoshop for the next steps. Here you can see that I have my file. Most of the files, when you take photos of them on the iPad, will have a file name that starts with IMG for image. And once you open that in your drive on the computer, you're going to click the download icon. The next step is to open up Photoshop. So when you look at the toolbar at the bottom of your desktop, you'll see Photoshop Elements 2018. When you click on this, you're going to then click again for the option for Photo Editor. This will open the program. Once the program has opened, we will open our file, our photograph of our logo, by selecting File, Open, and then navigating to our Downloads folder. And here is my IMG file, which is the photograph of my logo. The first thing we want to do is change the photo to black and white. So you can go to Image, Mode, Grayscale to do this. It's going to discard any color information so that we can work with a black and white file. The next thing we want to do is crop our logo to a square that has a resolution of 300 dots per inch. The crop tool is located on the left, the bottom portion. I can see that 5 by 5 is my square, and my resolution is set to 300 pixels per inch. Now I can click on my image and use the arrow tools to move it around and center it, making sure that I have everything within my crop tool. The next step is to do an auto levels. If you click on the Enhance menu, you'll see auto levels is one of the first options. This changes it to a better black and white with less gray. We can then zoom in on our picture using the magnifying glass, and then we're going to use the magic wand tool, which should be up in the top portion of your toolbar. If it doesn't look like the star, then just come right down here and make sure you have magic wand selected. I'm going to magic wand the black portion of my logo. This is the part that I inked with Sharpie. And then I'm going to say select similar to grab the rest of the black of my logo. Next, I'm going to go back to my select menu and I'm going to say modify, expand, and I'm going to expand my selection by 1 pixel to make sure that I have all of the area that I inked. Now we're going to go back to select and modify again, and we're going to smooth out that selection by 10 pixels. So make sure that you have 10 selected here and say OK. Now we're going to create a new layer. So on the right is your layers palette. The first option says create new layer when you mouse over it. And here is my new layer. I'm going to make sure the foreground color is set to black. And when you look at my color palette on the bottom left, you'll see I have gray as my foreground color. If I click the default, it switches it to black. Now I'm going to say Edit, Fill Selection, and then make sure this Use is changed to foreground color because we want to fill it with the foreground color. And then you can say OK. And you'll notice on my layer 1, now you can see the logo. We can turn the eyeball off of the background layer, and you can see that there's still a selection present because you see the dancing ants, the little selection going around my logo. So I can say select, deselect to make those dashes go away. And now I have my black and white logo. I want to delete my background layer by highlighting it and then clicking on the trash can and saying yes, so that the only file I have is my logo, which is a transparent background and the black lines that I inked. Now I'm going to save this logo. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to name it Brand Logo. The file extension right now is a PSD, which is a Photoshop format, and I want to change that to a PNG. And then I'm going to say Save. And then you can leave the default set and just say OK. Now I can go back into my Google Drive folder where I downloaded the image from, and I can say New, File Upload, and it probably saved to the downloads again. So when I click on Downloads, I see it right there, Brand Logo PNG, and I'm going to open it so that it uploads into my Google Drive. Now that we have uploaded our logo PNG file into our Google Drive, we can go into Google Classroom and insert this file into the Google slide that will be printed for your next activity. So if I click on my Google Classroom and I look at the stream, you'll see that I posted a new assignment called Logo Practice. If you click on that assignment, you'll see that there's a Google slide that you will have a copy of when you say View Assignment. I already have mine open, and the next step is to replace this text with your logo. So I can click on the image and say go from Google Drive, and if recent is selected, it should show me the last thing that I uploaded. When you highlight that, you can say Insert. Now it's very large and it's also a PNG, so you can see through it. So the next step is to grab a corner. Make sure you grab a corner, not one of the edges. Grabbing the corner will constrain the proportions. If you grab an edge, you're going to distort your image. If you accidentally do that, you can hold down Command Z on your keyboard to put it back. So this looks like a pretty good size to fit on my handout. So now I'm going to delete the text. And I'm going to replace it 4 times with my logo. Maybe I'll make it just a little bigger. Now, once you have it once the size that you want, then you can go Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste to put another one in. Now I can select both of them by holding down Shift while I click on the other one. And I can do the same thing, edit, copy, edit, paste. And now I have my other two that I can move below it. So you can see in the preview on the right, I have my logo design practice handout filled with 4 logos for me to try different color ideas on. And that's it. Oh, be sure to say turn in when you're finished as well. All right, thank you.